Hello, lovely humans, and welcome back to my channel. If you are watching this on Wedding Chicks or over on Facebook, thank you so much for stopping by. Before we get launched into today's video, guys, I did it. I launched a second channel. I'm so excited about creating new content for you guys, and the very first video that I did over on that channel was actually like that big curly hair that y'all always ask about. I did a tutorial on it, like a chatty, get ready with me, why did I start my business, why did I start YouTube, couple other questions like that, so it gives you a little bit more insight into my life. What I want this second channel to be. It's gonna be basically lifestyle content. We're gonna do some vlogs, we're gonna do some tutorials, but it's gonna be so much more than just the wedding stuff that you see here. Kids, marriage, plants, cooking, all of the above. And I'm so excited about it. So if you want to know more about me or my journey or my life or my weird obsessions, then I'm going to go ahead and link my second channel in the description box below for you guys to check out. Go on over there, subscribe, give me some love. I think I literally have 2 subscribers right now, and one is my husband and one is my mom. Just if you're interested, figured I'd toss that out there. Second channel is officially launched, and I am over the flipping moon. So go give it some love and let me know that you came from the OG main channel. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, today's video is so highly requested. I mentioned it, I think in my timeline, like day of timeline video a couple weeks ago about like first look and what the differences are and blah, blah, blah. And so many of you have said, can you please do a video on a first look? Please, I would love to hear the pros and cons of doing that. I sat down and came up with a list of both pros and cons to doing a first look, because believe it or not, it is not always a good idea, or it may not always work for you in your particular situation. Doing a first look is a deeply personal decision. I think that needs to be stated right up front. I don't think it is a one-size-fits-all type thing. I don't think that every person should do a first look, and there are a whole myriad of reasons. So without further ado, let's jump right on in. Now, story time. We decided to do a first look for our wedding day. We felt like it was a good fit for who we are. We wanted to have more time available in our schedule for more photos. It just sounded like it'd be a good option for us. And also for me, I felt like it'd be nice to take a moment away and just kind of hang out with my husband before we walked down the aisle. It was cute. I loved it. He was weird. He gets really weird on camera. Like, you'll see on my second channel, if he ever makes an appearance, he gets weird. And so having the opportunity to get a first look and get the weirdness out of the way was really helpful. And it also gave us a moment to kind of get settled and centered, and it worked out really well for our time frame. I was less concerned about having that moment when I walked down the aisle. I didn't think he'd be emotional no matter what. I was waiting on him to crack a joke as I walked down the aisle. That's how humorous of a person my husband is. So for us, it was more of a timing thing, and it also gave us time to feel centered and just steal a moment away together and to lessen the pressure of rushing through the day. And honestly, that was the only private moment we got together. So that was one of the huge reasons why I really enjoyed doing a first look. It gave us more photos. It allowed us to be more relaxed. It got all his weird stuff out before everyone else could witness it. So with that in mind, some of the pros of doing a first look. A ton of people these days are doing first looks. A ton of them. And why? It's because there are so many good merits to actually doing one. So here are the pros of doing a first look. The first one will be timing. It gives you more time in your schedule. So instead of feeling rushed between the end of your ceremony and the beginning of your reception during that cocktail hour, which could be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, to get through family photos, bridal party photos, and your portrait session, it gives you more time to get some of the portrait session done beforehand, some of the bridal party photos done beforehand, so then you can really take your time and not be so rushed in that short hour that you have. Also, with timing, if you want to join cocktail hour, this allows you to be able to do that. You've already gotten all of your photos out of the way, you do a couple family photos after the ceremony is over, and then you can go jump in and join cocktail hour, which is freaking fantastic. Or instead, you can steal a moment away, go relax in the bridal suite, and breathe and freak out because y'all just got married. It is such a sweet moment to pause and really enjoy that together. Whereas if you don't have that, that means you're doing photos the entire hour and there really isn't a whole lot of time to pause before moving on to the dinner portion of the event. The second merit to doing a first look is privacy. If you feel like it's going to be a really emotional moment, you're not on display for a bunch of people to see. It's just you two and a couple photographers and videographers. So it's okay, it's not just you two, but at least you don't have to worry about controlling your emotions, or you can just kind of rest in that. It's just private. It's just you guys. And you don't have to be concerned about putting on a show for 150 people. Does that make sense? It can be sweet, it can be intimate, it can be emotional, and no one feels like they have to perform accordingly. And within that privacy, it helps you to get your jitters out. Like I said, my husband's weird. He's really, really weird. So having the first look got all the finger guns out of his system, so by the time we were ready to walk down the aisle, like he had no finger guns left. Got all the jitters out and got us centered before we got hitched. The lighting. If you're getting married in the late fall or winter time, then the sun goes down earlier, which means you may not have time after your ceremony to go out and get photos. You need to take photos when it's still bright outside. So doing a first look may mean that you actually get some sunshine in your photos. And speaking of photos, there is a chance that you will get more photos because you've given your photographer more to work with. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna send back like 800 more photos because you did a first look, but you get different backgrounds, you get different options, you just give them more material to work with, which ends up working out a whole lot better in your favor. There's just time to breathe, you get to relax, you get to enjoy more of the moments throughout your day. Now, with that being said, obviously there are some cons to doing a first look. Yes, there are. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Timing. Timing is a concern when it's a first look. Like I said in my day of timeline video, you will probably want to do your first look about 2 hours before your ceremony begins. If you're having an 11 a.m. ceremony, that means a 9 a.m. first look, which means you need to get your behind up for hair and makeup at what time? No, ain't nobody got time for that. I am not getting up out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to put stuff on my face for pictures. I don't care what day it is. You cannot pay me money to wake up that early and attempt to look pretty because it's not going to be fun. I mean, hey, that may be for you, but timing could actually be a hindrance in this situation. So you may need to save all of your photos for the cocktail hour. While there is a lot of pressure associated with the first time seeing each other when you're walking down the aisle, there is also that same amount of pressure sometimes for doing a first look. Like a groom may feel like he needs to react in such a way, even though it's just you and your photographers and your videographers, he may feel like, you look great, honey. And it just gets weird and you may not really want that captured on film. I don't know. This is a deeply personal choice. So if that feels like it has more pressure associated with it, then don't do it. Most first looks happen around 2 p.m., sometimes 12 p.m., where the midday sun is really, really harsh. And so a photographer will need to find nice dappled lighting to work with, but the sun is really, really bright at that time. So oftentimes photos are better towards the golden hour, which is right around sunset. So while it does give you more options of photos to work with, it may be super, super bright. So the lighting can be a hindrance in this particular situation as well. And the last con to doing a first look is it's not traditional and you don't want to do it. It's completely up to you and your fiance. In fact, I would say in my experience, most of the time it's the grooms who don't want to do a first look. They want that moment to watch you walk down the aisle. And I think that's so tender and so sweet. So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. And now there is one myth about first looks that I would love to dispel in this moment. Most people say we don't want to do a first look because it'll ruin that moment. And this again is entirely up to you. But like I said, we did a first look. I will tell you that nothing robbed us of the joy of me walking down the aisle for the first time. We went from our first look to bridal party photos to Starbucks. So I literally got coffee on my wedding day because hi, my name's Jamie and I'm a caffeine addict. Got coffee, he dropped me off, because yes, he was driving his car. He dropped me off at one part of the venue, pulled around, parked, and then got in line to get ready to walk down the aisle. I mean, we had been apart for maybe 4 minutes. Maybe. I walked down, boom, he immediately burst into tears. It just was one of the most tender and sweet moments we've ever had. And so I'm so glad that we had the time to sit together, to hang out together, to laugh together. And I will tell you, it did not ruin that aisle moment for us. But again, this is a deeply personal decision. Do not let anyone else's opinion of timing or lighting or emotion get in the way of you making your decision for whether or not you want to do your first look. It gets you more time. It gets the jitters out. It gets you more photo opportunities. But it could mean you're waking up really early and the midday sun could be really harsh for your first look. Or it could feel like there's a lot of pressure attached to it and you may not want to do it. When deciding on whether or not you want to do your first look, take all of these things into account. I'm really happy we did ours. I'm thrilled we did ours. And from a vendor perspective, I really do think timing-wise, they're fantastic. Nerves-wise, they are wonderful. And it just gives you more like breathing room throughout the day. However, that being said, about half of the events we do not do a first look. You don't have to do them. You have my permission. You don't need to do that. Vendors are completely used to working with a timeline that doesn't have one. So if your photographer is pushing you, or your videographer is pushing you, or your bridal party, or whomever it happens to be, and you're just not comfortable with it, you don't have to do it. So that's all we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't done so already, like this video, subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride. As always, a huge shout out to my gal pals over at Wedding Chicks for hosting this video, and until next week, bye guys. Oh, and if you haven't done so, go check out my other channel. Leave a comment, do the stuff, the YouTubey stuff. I'm gonna link that here, I think. I think that's where I have it in my end card. Here. Okay, that's all. Bye.